Hi, parents, and welcome to Mrs. Bevan's Math 2 classroom. I just wanted to take you on a short video tour of the slides that I've provided you with. So if you click on to the next slide on your own version, you'll just learn a little bit about me. I am an original Bulldog. I've been at Oak Hills High School since we opened in 2009. This is my 14th year teaching. I taught over at Hesbury High School for a couple of years before I came over to Oak Hills. I have taught Algebra 1, I've taught Avid, Geometry, Algebra 2, and now Math 2, which this is my third year teaching. Basically just a combination of the classes I've taught before. This is my email. If you ever have any questions or concerns about your student and you'd like to express them to me, please feel free to email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, this is the phone number of the school, which I am on campus on Wednesdays. So if you would like to reach out to me on a Wednesday while I'm in my classroom, you can go ahead and call. And if I don't answer, leave a voicemail, and I'll do my best to get back to you that day. This is my website. So if you click through, it'll take you to my website here. And on my website, if you scroll down on the homepage, there are supplies here that I have told your students are super important for them to have. In the center, I have all of their Zoom links, which they can access at any time. I also have the Zoom links on my Google Classroom that they're able to access, but they're here just in case they ever have any issues with Google Classroom. This is my Remind code. I use Google Classroom more often than I use Remind, but it's there just in case. And again, my email. If you click on the schedule tab at the top, it'll take you to the screen here, which just kind of gives the layout of the student's daily schedule. Below that is kind of a week and month at glance for my class specifically. So what they have here is something to look at that tells them what we'll be covering in classes on a certain day, or what their assignment is for that day. And whenever I assign an assignment, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, it's always due at the next meeting. So their homework for this day was the 1-6 notes, and then that was due at the Thursday or Friday meeting, depending on which day they see me. A couple of resources that I've provided here. There's some coordinate planes if your student does not have graph paper, which is available at pretty much any store that sells school supplies. There's also the option here to print out coordinate planes, and this is a PDF file that they're easily able to print from. This is a Khan Academy link if your student ever feels like they need additional practice on any concepts, or maybe just an additional person to explain a concept to them. Khan Academy is a amazing resource that they can use for that. Just some expectations we went over the first week of school, Zoom expectations here, and grade weights here for the class. And then a few different sites, links that are useful. The Oak Hills website, which has helpful information, the district website here, and then Infinite Campus, which I'm also going to talk more about in a little bit. Okay, just a few resources here. Google Classroom for parents. Parents don't have access to Google Classroom like the students do, where they can go in and kind of see the breakdown assignment by assignment. But what you are able to do is sign up to get notifications from Google Classroom. And what it'll do is it'll send you either daily or weekly emails, depending on your preference. And in your emails, it'll send you what your student should have done for that week or for that day, maybe some upcoming things, some due dates, or sometimes missing assignments will come through in your notifications. So if you're interested in signing up to get those Google Classroom notifications, please let me know, and I can include you with your student, and you'll get your student's notifications in email. Infinite Campus is an amazing tool. If you are interested in signing up for Infinite Campus, it will give you constant access to your students' grades. You'll be able to see their grades in all of their classes, as well as attendance. You can also go through the website, or you can sign up through the app on your phone, which I've done. And when you sign up through the app on your phone, it's going to link you to all of your children in the district. So you'll be able to view all of their grades. You can also set it up to where you get notifications for new assignments, notifications when their grade changes, or anything like that. So that's a really helpful tool to have as well. If you're interested in signing up for Infinite Campus, you'll need to contact the school, specifically counseling, to get the access code to sign up for Infinite Campus for your student. This is just a day-by-day schedule of where your student should be and when. So students don't start with their teachers until 8:30, and you can just kind of see that laid out. So first thing in the morning, they're not logged in at 7:30. They're not logged in at the end of the school day technically, but there are some teachers that might have them log in during those hours for tutoring or maybe any additional things that they have going on. For me, myself, in all of the meetings I meet with your students, we go through and I offer help or tutoring for any of the problems that they're working on, any of the assignments that we've been talking about. So every live meeting is pretty much a tutoring session or an opportunity for your student to ask questions. On Wednesdays, it's a little bit different. We have meetings. We don't necessarily meet live with students on Wednesdays. I've set it up to where I am available to meet with students on Wednesdays. So from 10 to 11 o'clock, that is when I'm available for makeup sessions, for tests or quizzes, depending on what we did the week before. And then from 12 to 1, that's my help hour for additional tutoring if your student needs additional help. Or I do assign an activity on Wednesdays. So if they need help with that activity, then they can come in during that help hour to get assistance with that. Now, that activity is something that is assigned on Mondays. So they have multiple days to work on that, to get help with that. And it's due by 11:59 on Wednesdays. So I just wanted to give you a quick run through as to what your students' weekly routine would look like. Depending on when I have them, their assignments get pushed out that morning. So as I showed you in the calendar, again, I'll show you that. I will push out assignments. Let me just go to August real quick. So let's just look at week 3, for example. I would have pushed out the 1-1 notes in practice on the 13th or 14th, again, depending on when I have your student, and that would not have been due until our following meeting, which would have been the 17th or 18th. At that time, I would have fielded any questions that they had about the notes or the practice. We go through and do a warm-up, talk about different things, general information, and at the end of our meetings, they take a short quiz that just kind of quizzes them on the concepts that were learned in the 1-1. And then from there, that morning I will have pushed out the 1-2 notes in practice, which is due the following meeting here. At that time, we would do a warm-up. We would go over any questions they may have had. And then after that, I would have assigned the 1-3 notes in practice. And then on Wednesdays, we have activities that we do. And again, I assign those on Mondays. So they do have a couple of days to work on those activities, but those are due on Wednesdays by 11:59 p.m. For their notes and their assignments, that's pushed out to them in Google Classroom in the form of a Google Doc. And on the Google Doc, I provide links to videos where I walk them through examples for their notes. After they take those notes in their notebooks, they then have practice, independent practice, that they are to work through in their assignment books. And then those are the problems that we will cover at the next meeting. Now, when they work through an assignment, there's always going to be a small set of review questions at the end just to kind of make sure we're continually talking about previous concepts. And then at the very bottom, there is often answers to selected questions so that they can kind of check as they go to make sure that they're on the right track. So your student's job is to watch the video notes and take those notes in their notebooks, rewatch the videos if necessary so they can watch them at their own pace. Again, from there, they complete the independent practice problems in their second composition book, which is their assignment book. And what they'll do is they'll upload each of the 2 notes and practice into 2 separate PDFs and attach that into Google Classroom prior to our next meeting. So that has to be turned in before we meet the next time to be considered on time. And again, it also needs to be uploaded into PDFs, which we've gone through multiple examples as to how to do that. We walked through in class. I've counseled students one-on-one. I've posted links. So if there's ever any questions, they are more than welcome to ask for help with that. Then again, at that next meeting, they must attend the entire meeting to receive their daily participation points, which is 5 points. We'll go through the warm-up, which is typically stuff that we've already covered, or it may be something that's kind of gearing them up for the notes that they're going to see after class that day. I'll go through any general information just to keep them informed. We'll review the prior lesson, the prior quiz activity, and I'll answer questions about any of that, including the practice problems. And it all depends on what questions the students have. I encourage them to ask questions during our meetings. And then we do the exit ticket quiz, which is approximately 10 points for a total of 15 points for that meeting. So that is just a real quick run through of my class. Thank you for coming.